From a very young age, we are all taught that killing is wrong. It's something that shouldn't ever happen unless it's in self-defense or in war. But then there are those cases that just give us the creeps, murders that seem unnecessary and unjustifiable. Those are the cases that we remember even to this day. However, there are some cases of killings that take things even further than just murder. Cases where people kill multiple times over a long period of time. These cases are called serial killers. But how do we know who the worst ones are? Well, by their kill count and the way they go about their kills. So with that, here are some of the worst serial killers of all time. Number 10. Pedro Lopez. This man was one of the most prolific serial killers in history, but also one of the most mysterious. Not much is known about his life before his capture, not even his true name. The name Pedro Lopez is the name given to him by the police after his capture. Not much is known about his early life, but he seems to have had a troubled childhood and had no stable family structure. He was arrested for the first time at the age of 19 for burglary. And it was only a year later that he would be arrested for a crime that he seemed to have become infamous for: kidnapping and murdering women. Throughout the years, he was arrested multiple times for similar crimes, but he was able to escape every single time until he was caught in 1992 while trying to kidnap a girl in Ecuador. When interviewed, he told the police his name was Pedro Lopez, and when asked why he chose that name, he simply said, "It sounded nice." After his capture, Lopez was taken into custody and charged with more than 300 murders throughout Colombia, Peru, Ecuador, and Venezuela. Most of his victims were young girls between the ages of 8 and 14. It's believed that he may have killed many more than what he was charged with, though. He was sentenced to 240 years in prison, but it's rumored that he may have died of natural causes in prison. Number 9. Luis Garavito. From the time he was 14 years old, Garavito had been a petty criminal and was known for his violence. At the age of 21, he would murder his girlfriend after she broke up with him. He then went on to serve 5 years in jail for this crime. He was released and went back to his criminal ways, which led to him being captured once again. In 1992, he was found guilty of sexually abusing 2 boys and was sentenced to 8 years in prison. After getting out, he became violent once again and went on to murder at least 138 children in Colombia. His motives were different each time he killed, but most of them involved some sort of sexual gratification. He was eventually caught and sentenced to 1853 years in prison. That's right, almost 2,000 years. He's currently still in prison and is set to be released in the year 2176. Number 8. Angel Munoz. Munoz lived in a small village in Spain with his mother and sister. At the age of 22, he moved to another city where he got married and had 2 daughters. Everything seemed fine and normal until his wife and daughters died under mysterious circumstances. An investigation revealed that Munoz had poisoned both of them. This was only the beginning, however, because after his daughters and wife died, he went on to marry another woman and poison her too. With all these suspicious deaths going on, authorities started keeping tabs on Munoz. They suspected that he had murdered other people as well and were just waiting for him to slip up, which he did. He was caught trying to poison yet another woman and was sentenced to 26 years in prison for his crime. As he aged, he became increasingly violent, attacking other inmates and guards. He spent a total of 33 years in prison before his death in 2012. During his time behind bars, he was linked to 7 confirmed murders, but it's believed that he may have killed as many as 50 people. Number 7. Harold Shipman. Shipman was a general practitioner from England who went on to become one of the most prolific serial killers in history. He was known as Dr. Death and is believed to have murdered anywhere from 218 to 250 of his patients. He was able to get away with it for so long due to his status as a respected doctor in the community. But when he was finally caught, it came to light just how many people he had murdered. He was known to lace his patients' drinks with lethal doses of diamorphine. It was only when he was sentenced to life in prison that he showed any remorse for his actions. One of his survivors even claimed that if she could have one wish, it would be to tell Dr. Shipman exactly what he did to her and the other families and ask him why. Number 6. Randall David Kraft. After joining the U.S. Navy at the age of 17, Kraft quickly rose through the ranks and became a respected member of the force, but he had a dark side as well. While serving in the Navy, he was investigated for raping a 14-year-old boy. Although the investigation cleared him of any wrongdoing, it was later revealed that he had actually murdered the boy and was given an honorable discharge from the Navy soon after. Over the next few years, he went on to murder at least 15 teenage boys in California. His method was always the same. He would invite the boys to parties at his home where he would ply them with alcohol and drugs until they passed out. He would then strangle them to death. He was eventually caught and sentenced to 27 consecutive life sentences, plus 500 years in prison. Number 5. Gary Ridgway. Ridgway was known as the Green River Killer and is believed to have murdered at least 49 women in Washington state during the 1980s and 90s. He would often target sex workers, and many of his victims were found dumped near a river in King County. A breakthrough in the case came when DNA testing linked Ridgway to some of the murders. He was convicted of 49 counts of murder and is currently serving 49 life sentences in prison without the possibility of parole. What makes Ridgway's case especially creepy is that he taunted the police with information about his crimes and even tried to lead them to more victims. He was also obsessed with one of the detectives working on his case and would call the police station just to talk to him. 4. The Zodiac Killer. This infamous killer terrorized Northern California in the late 1960s and early 1970s. He earned his name by sending cryptic messages to the police and media outlets, often containing codes or ciphers that have never been deciphered. Although he was never caught, it's believed that he murdered at least 12 people and may have killed as many as 37. His methods were brutal and often sexual in nature, which made him one of the most feared serial killers of all time. Even today, his identity remains a mystery. Number 3. John Wayne Gacy. Gacy was known as the Killer Clown and is believed to have murdered at least 33 young men in Illinois during the 1970s. He was also an accomplished real estate agent and local politician, which made him one of the most prolific serial killers in history. Gacy was known for his bizarre behavior, such as wearing women's shoes while committing his crimes and keeping souvenirs from his victims. He was executed by lethal injection in 1994. Number 2. Ted Bundy. Bundy was one of the most notorious serial killers in history. He confessed to murdering at least 30 women in the 1970s and is believed to have killed many more. Bundy was charismatic and good-looking, which allowed him to evade capture for so long. He was eventually caught and sentenced to death in 1980. Bundy's crimes continue to fascinate people today, and he has been the subject of numerous books, documentaries, and TV shows. Number 1. Jeffrey Dahmer. This man was an American serial killer, sex offender, and rapist who was convicted of murdering 17 men between 1978 and 1991. He was also known as the Milwaukee Monster and the Cannibal Killer. Dahmer would often target African American men and would lure them to his apartment with promises of money or drugs. Once they were inside, he would drug and dismember them. What made Dahmer's crimes especially gruesome was that he would often eat parts of his victims' bodies and even keep their skulls and skeletons as souvenirs. He was finally caught in 1991 and sentenced to 15 life sentences plus 60 years in prison. Dahmer was killed in 1994 by a fellow inmate while on a prison work crew. Which of these killers scared you the most? Comment below. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe for more amazing content.